Nice to see the welcome that I've had. There's a huge Filipino community here, so I'm so excited.
And the roar started before she even reached the baggage claim. Hundreds of fans, Philippine flags draped over shoulders, handmade signs held high, voices chanting in unison, packed the Madrid airport arrivals hall on April 18th, transforming a routine terminal into something closer to a royal procession. 20-year-old Alex Eala stepped through those doors fresh off a flight from Stuttgart, and the crowd erupted like she had just won a Grand Slam. She had not. But to the hundreds who waited hours for this moment, that did not matter. What they witnessed was not just an arrival. It was a coronation. And what happened in the 72 hours that followed would test whether the weight of that love could be carried onto clay. 3 days earlier, Eala had walked off a Stuttgart court after a straight sets loss to Leylah Fernandez. 1-6, 4-6. No drama, no controversy, just another early exit on a clay swing that has not yet caught fire. She boarded a plane to Spain with her family ranked world number 45 and carrying the hopes of an entire nation. The Mutua Madrid Open draw was set to drop in 48 hours. And somewhere in the Spanish capital, the city where she first trained at Rafael Nadal's academy back in 2018, a crowd was already gathering. Here is the tension no one wants to say out loud. Alex Eala's ranking has dropped 16 spots since March. Career high number 29 after Indian Wells back-to-back early exits in Linz and Stuttgart on clay. The hype machine is moving faster than the points. The fans do not care. They showed up anyway. They queued for hours. They turned a Madrid airport into a scene that went viral across every Filipino sports network and tennis social media feed within minutes. GMA Network, ABS-CBN Sports, YouTube clips racking up hundreds of thousands of views, the chants, the signs, the pride, and standing in the middle of it all, family beside her, cameras flashing, fans pressing forward, was a 20-year-old who has become something bigger than her ranking suggests. The question Madrid forces her to answer is this. Can the love of a nation translate into the breakthrough her clay season desperately needs? Eala moved through the crowd slowly, stopping for photos, signing autographs, visibly moved by the reception. Her mother and father stood close. Her brother filmed parts of it on his phone. This was not a planned media event. This was spontaneous combustion. One fan posted on X within minutes. She just landed and we have been here since 6 a.m. This is what a queen looks like. Put yourself in the shoes of every other player arriving in Madrid that week. You walk through the same terminal. Maybe a handful of people recognize you. Maybe no one does. Then you see this. Hundreds of people chanting one name, creating an atmosphere that belongs at a championship final, not an airport arrivals hall. That is the Alex Eala effect. The reception was not an isolated incident. It is a pattern. Stuttgart weeks earlier, viral fan meetup. Dubai before that, sold-out practice sessions just to watch her warm up. Miami in March. Filipino fans traveled from across the United States to pack the stands during her second-week run. The crowds follow her everywhere. The difference in Madrid is the symbolism. She is landing in Spain, the country where she first fell in love with clay at Nadal's academy 8 years ago, and the fans are welcoming her like she is coming home. Even her peers are embracing the rising Filipina. Even the tour regulars recognize what is happening. But here is what the airport footage does not show. The pressure. Monday, April 14th. Eala loses in Stuttgart 1-6, 4-6. Tuesday, April 8th. Eala loses in Linz 4-6, 5-7. The clay season, the surface that defines European tennis, the surface that can make or break a player's year, has not been kind. In Linz against Julia Grabher, she took a set off Ostapenko, but the big wins, the momentum-shifting victories that her hard-court game delivered in Indian Wells and Miami, have not materialized on red dirt yet. The Madrid draw drops on April 20th. The tournament begins April 21st, and the city is already buzzing. You saw the airport, you saw the flags, you felt the energy through a screen. Now imagine carrying that into a WTA 1000 main draw where every opponent knows your name and every match will be dissected by millions back home. That is the reality Eala walked into when she landed in Spain. The fans gave her a coronation. Madrid will decide if she has earned the crown. There is a reason Alex trains at the Rafa Nadal Academy. There is a reason she keeps returning to Mallorca, to the clay courts where 22 Grand Slam titles were forged. The academy does not hand out endorsements lightly. It does not keep players in its system unless the work ethic and talent justify it. Eala has remained connected to that training environment for a reason. The institution that shaped her game carries Nadal's name. His credibility transfers to every player who earns a place there. And when the world asks whether a 20-year-old Filipina can compete at the highest level on clay, the answer is already embedded in where she trains. The academy's reputation speaks louder than any single quote. Eala's continued presence there is the endorsement. The Madrid airport scene was not just about one player. It was a preview of where tennis is heading. The WTA has spent years trying to crack into new markets. Asia, Southeast Asia, regions where football and basketball have dominated sports culture for generations. Alex Eala is doing that work without a marketing campaign. She is doing it by existing, by winning matches that matter, by showing up in Stuttgart and Madrid and Miami with a flag on her bag and a nation on her back. The Filipino diaspora is massive. Millions across the Middle East, Europe, North America. They do not just watch tennis when Eala plays. They travel. They buy tickets. They pack stadiums. Tournament directors from Indian Wells to Roland Garros are paying attention because attendance numbers do not lie. When Eala is in the draw, the stands fill. Madrid is the next test. The Mutua Madrid Open runs through May 3rd. Then comes the potential Catalonia Open appearance on April 27, a WTA 125 event that could offer crucial clay court representatives before the French Open swing begins in earnest. Roland Garros looms on the horizon. See, every match between now and Paris is a data point. Every win builds the case that the hype is justified. The fans already believe. The question is whether the rest of the tennis world will be forced to accept what Filipino supporters have known for years. Alex is not just a feel-good story. She is the future. Not every arrival ends in triumph. Not every moment on tour looks like an airport celebration. In a performance so clinical it felt surgical. 12 games, 63 minutes, no rhythm, no answers. The scoreline was brutal. Within 2 weeks, she was back on court in Linz, winning her opening match against Grabher before falling to Ostapenko in a competitive two-setter. The resilience is not theoretical. It is documented, and it is exactly what she will need when the Madrid main draw begins and the weight of those airport chants follows her onto center court. Hundreds of fans. One 20-year-old, a Madrid airport, turned into a throne room. Alex Eala landed in Spain, ranked 45 in the world, carrying the pride of 115 million Filipinos and the expectations that come with being treated like royalty before you have won the crown. The Stuttgart loss is still fresh. The clay court breakthrough is still pending. But the airport footage captured something the rankings cannot measure. Undeniable proof that she has become tennis royalty to a global community that refuses to wait for permission to celebrate her. The draw drops Monday. The matches begin Tuesday. And somewhere in Madrid, the fans who chanted her name in that arrivals hall are ready to do it again. Louder, longer, and in a stadium this time, Alex did not just arrive in Spain. She arrived as the people's queen. Now the clay gets to decide if the coronation was premature or if the world simply has not caught up yet. Can Alex Eala convert this massive Madrid welcome into the clay court statement that silences every doubt about her ranking drop? Or will the early exits define her European swing? Drop your prediction below. And if you want to see every moment of her Madrid campaign covered, the wins, the losses, the reactions that no one else will show you, subscribe now. The draw drops in 24 hours. The story is just beginning. And the fans who packed that airport are not going anywhere.